next day or 2 days after, yes, again. And the next one, yes, again. 3 people in a row said yes to £1,000. It blew my mind. I couldn't believe I was so happy. Because that was a significant amount of money for me those days. It was a big difference to my income level. And then the next step was, I read this book, which I highly recommend you read. It's called The Prosperous Coach by Rich Litvin. So Rich Litvin is a British guy, very successful coach in LA. He co-written a book with Steve Chandler, another very successful coach. And it's all about, you know, it's a business of coaching, not the coaching itself, and you have to become good at business, not so much coaching. So that really inspired me to the point I read this book, or even before reading the book, I saw Rich Litvin's website. I saw the certainty he was speaking with, and it inspired me so much. I spent till 4 a.m. changing a copy of my website to make it look like his website. I was like, I love the tone. This is an amazing tone. In fact, I took so much stuff directly from his site, he personally asked me to remove it. It was like, Michael, you know, great to hear your story, but would you be kind enough to remove the copy that you directly taken from my website? I said, yeah, sure, Rich. I'm sorry. I wasn't really sorry. You know? For me, it's like, just like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be proud. It's not like I'm proud of it, but for me, it's not a big deal. Like, I do whatever it takes. I still didn't feel like I hurt anybody. He's in LA, doing super well. I'm in London, targeting people in London, you know. He doesn't work with people in London. So for me, it was like, what's the big deal? You know, I saw people taking stuff from my website many times. I never bothered to say anything. I should have maybe tell you that. So here I am, reading this book, The Prosperous Coach. Damn, I need to put my fees up. So I was charging £1,000 for 6 sessions for a couple of months. And I said, I need to put my fees up. So what I did, because this is what he talks about as well in this book, what they talk about, they don't have fixed fees anymore. So on the high level of coaching, they don't have fixed fees anymore. They make proposals. It's for, okay, I'm going to start to make proposals. So back then, I started to charge anything between £1,000 and £5,000 for 6 sessions. And guys, first when I asked somebody for 5K, I was shit myself. I was like, damn, I like this guy, he has the money, but how can I possibly ask for 5K and think I can get away with it? And I had to sell it to him. There was an email conversation back and forth because the guy was so loaded. We had a consultation and we booked the first session in. He said, just send me an invoice. He didn't even ask how much it's going to be. That's when you know you deal with a very wealthy person. Like, just, yeah, send me an invoice. So I sent him an invoice for 5K and he was like, what the hell? So I had to explain it to him why he's paying this much. So I knew that the reply to this email was worth 5K. You know, 3 paragraphs, I nailed it. I can show you this reply. So, and then there was a point when when I moved the minimum of 1K, so we talked in March last year, I went from minimum 1K to minimum 2K, that's what I'm charging right now, anything between 2K and 5K. But at the same time, I grew a team of associates. So what happens now, this is I want to say a big part of my business, it will become bigger over time, I'm guessing. What happens, you know, I meet all these people for consultations, and as you can imagine, not everybody can afford minimum 2K, so I would refer them to my associates, and I would get a cut, right? So it's a way of, you know, you have this conversation with someone for up to 2 hours, you meet that person, you want to help them, they are ready to be coached, they like you, but they can't afford 2K, which is fair enough, that's your plan. So that's something you want to think about when you get to certain levels, like what about the people that you meet that can't afford your fees? You've got to have someone more junior who can work with them. And obviously you get a cut. And everybody's happy. Your associate, because he or he can coach and make money and practice coaching. The client, because you provided them with a solution, and you, because you're making some money and you're getting paid for the consultation in a way. So this is not like completely wasted time. Which I never look at as a wasted time, because I genuinely like to meet people. And if I really don't like someone, and which happened once, I just ask her to leave after 17 minutes. I said, this meeting is over. I stood up and she left. It was bad. But she was so negative, I couldn't take it. I didn't want to take it, so I couldn't take it. So, guys, so this is the story. This is going from 0 to where I am right now. You see, in terms of in terms of where the money was coming from, primarily, like I said to you, 82% last year, one-to-one clients. So now the good question is, something that's on your mind probably, how did I get this 191 consultation last year? Because this is the first thing I'm going to talk about today, after an hour and 10 minutes introduction. No, I'll make it short. So it's just two things I want to talk about. There's three things that I cover. This is what I'm going to be talking to you at the end. It's the workshops for coaches that I run called How to Build a Six-Figure Coaching Business, where I'm basically spending the whole day on talking about the things I'm about to talk right now. So there are three elements to having a successful business. And I'm going to touch on the first two today. There's marketing first, sales, and then branding. I'm going to talk about the first two because branding is something you have to think about when you get to a level of, let's say, 50K or 40K a year. I didn't worry about my brand that much. I mean, I was a little bit because I knew I'm going to grow big. But like at this, going from zero or from little money from coaching, you don't want to think too much about branding. What is my brand? What do I stand for? What's my mission statement? What's my value? Forget about this. If you don't make any money or make very little money, the question you want to ask yourself is very simple. Where my next client is going to come from? Not how I can make my fancy website even more fancy. Like my website wasn't fancy at all. I wouldn't say it's fancy now, it's a very simple website. But the picture wasn't great, it wasn't even Photoshop. Now I look at my picture like, wow, but it's been Photoshopped by not one but two people to make me look like that. And then I added a few other elements, and there's the copy. The copy, there's my heart in it, and there's so many hours of thinking and changing things, relentless changes on my website. So, and I see lots of coaches putting effort, too much effort in number one, coaching qualification. Because like I said, no matter what qualification you're going to have, ultimately you're not going to learn to become a good coach unless you coach your ass off. So if you don't have paying clients, coach for free. Don't coach your close friend because that's never a good idea, but ask your close friends about their friends and try to coach them. And you say, oh, I'm not going to coach for free. Maybe not in the right industry then. Because if I won the lottery tomorrow, which I won't because I don't play it, I think I would still be coaching because I love it. I just enjoy doing it. And the passion I have for that is one of the reasons why I'm successful, because when there was tough, when I was worried about how I'm going to pay the rent, again, not because I wasn't making enough, it's because I'm a spender. The passion was what kept me going. When I had to fire a client, or the client was unpleasant, or somebody didn't show up for a consultation, it was like, oh damn, now when I need the money to pay the rent, this person didn't show up. And I still experience, things like that sometimes. People don't show up, or there's some, difficult clients. So you gotta like it. You gotta like it. If you're passionate about it, it's even better. So marketing. Having people in front of you so you can actually sell to them. And let me just say one thing before I get to that, something very basic, but not necessarily obvious. Might not be obvious to some of you. I want you to ask yourself, and answer that in your head. I'm not going to ask you, this is just for yourself. If I was to ask you to score your happiness level or your general life satisfaction level out of 10, so between 0 and 10, what's the number? Yeah, that's the number that you just got, that's the number I'm looking for. Now guys, if this number is below 6, my advice to you is, sort your shit out before you try to charge people for sorting their shit out. The problem with that is that if your happiness, and I said 6, could be 5.5, could be 7, whatever. If you're not a happy person, if you don't have your shit together, people will smell it from you. On a communication level or sub-communication level. Being not happy as a coach, you are as credible as fat personal trainer is, or a personal stylist with a bad style. That's how credible you are as a coach. And you guys are like, fuck yeah, who does he think he is? I'm just telling you what I think. I'm a very happy person. I'm not always happy. I have Sunday evenings sometimes, like, oh my God. my date cancelled me. Yeah. But as my coach said to me, you know, I came to her once and I said, oh, Michelle, I feel a bit low today. And she was laughing. She said, my low is higher than average person high, which she might be right. So it's not about always being happy, but it's about being a happy or content, satisfied person in general. And if you are not, how can you sell yourself during this consultation? So I'm saying that before I talk about marketing and sales, because you can spend an enormous amount of money on marketing. You can do sales training, but if you show up on a consultation like this, nobody's going to buy into it. So you're going to waste money and time. How many of you have coaches? Life coaches, like business mentors, people like that. Okay, half of you, that's actually quite a lot. That's another thing. If you are a coach and you don't have a coach, it's like you don't believe in your product. Don't think about it. It's like guy owning, I don't know, the factory of Land Rover. It's not driving Land Rover. So, whoa, why not? Aren't you producing those cars? Well, but I prefer Honda. Well, and you know, in all fairness, I didn't have a coach to begin with. 2 reasons. Number one, I couldn't afford it. Again, not because I wasn't making enough, spending too much. Number two, for a long time, I couldn't find a coach that I thought could handle me, because I know I have a strong personality, and I can overpower people very easily, which is very helpful when you coach. It's not so helpful when you're trying to be coached by someone. But trust me, my coach can handle me just fine. She doesn't take any bullshit from me. And I said, Michelle, be very honest with me. I need it. People are afraid to tell me what they think. Especially when you're surrounded by your clients, and most of your friends are your former clients. What are they going to tell you? The dynamic has been established in a certain way, right? Like, they see you as a little bit, you know, they look up to you a little bit. But everybody, you all need to know alive, someone who's going to say, hey, shut up and focus on work. Don't worry about this. You can do that. Like, we all need that. So I encourage you, even if it's you pairing up with someone who's done the animus training as well, make sure that whoever is coaching has done animus training. And get someone who's not a close friend, but someone within your group, and say, let's coach each other. And let's have 1 hour a week, everything, all attention on me, and then 1 hour, all attention on you. Possibly not in the same day, because not back to back, because that will be confusing for the brain, I think. But having a coach in your life, so you can say, sometimes people ask me, do you have a coach? And I say, yeah, of course I have a coach. Oh, you have a coach? And I tell them about my coach. Or I drop it in a conversation, during consultation. I want them to know I have a coach. And I say, why would you have a coach? I mean, you're doing so well. And I say, I'm doing so well because all of the coaching and mentoring I've received, which is partially true. From people, face to face, but also from the books that I've read and videos that I've seen and events I went to. This is a form of coaching and mentoring as well. When you go to events and you listen to Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Les Brown. These guys are my mentors as well. Most of them are dead, and I've never met them, most of them, but it doesn't matter. But nothing can replace one-to-one coaching. So it's the product that you sell. And someone like, hold on a minute, I just want to change lives. What product, what business, when I meet a coach, and what they say is like, I just want to help people, I know they're going to fail. Because it's not enough that you want to help people. I want to help people as well, but that's not enough. That's a very naive, that's a very foolish, non-business-like thinking. I just want to help people, I just want to change the world, I just want to make the world a better place. Shut the fuck up. You can't change anyone unless you learn the business of coaching. And if you don't learn the business of coaching, you need to get a job to pay the bills. So you can't help anybody, you see? So let's drop this romantic idea of, I just want to help people. No, I want to help people. I need to learn business and become a strong businessman, businesswoman, so I can help people. There's two sides. Nobody cares, oh, please work with me. I want to help you. No, you need to, first of all, have this person in front of you, number one. And number two, you need to be skillful enough to sell your services to them. Because guys, people don't wake up in the morning unless they're coaches like myself, thinking, I need to get a coach, I need to get a coach, I want to have a coach. Oh, who I can spend money with? It's not a necessity. Coaching is not a necessity. I don't want to say it's luxury, but it's not a necessity. So it's our responsibility to be able to sell the gift that we have and to do what we are here to do, which is helping other people. So I get it. So yes, helping people, yes, but not just that. And the helping people part, the coaching part, like I said, it's an easy part. It's the business of coaching that is hard. And unfortunately, this is unfair, but you can have a great coach, and there are some great coaches out there, who are not great in business minds, without money, not having a business, and you have not so great coaches with a great business acumen making lots of money. It's not fair. But then who said the life is fair? The good news is that we don't have to choose being a great coach or being a great person. So I didn't know which one. I want both. But the only way for me to become a great coach, I need to coach a lot. The only way for me to coach a lot, I need to know how to get people in front of me for consultations and then convert them to my clients. It's an obvious link, isn't it? So marketing. I personally get most of my consultations through Google Ads. However, I've shown many coaches in the past how to use Google Ads. They all failed. Even my associates, they're brilliant, they have a great website. It's a very hard thing to do. So I'm not going to say to you, okay, Google Ads is the solution. I get most of my leads through Google Ads. I dominate Google Ads in the UK, in our industry. I spent over 20K on Google Ads in the last 3 years. So if nothing else, there's other people to compete, you don't have to compete against me, which is fine because you might have this purple or bright website that people will like them, the boring black and white one, which is fine. But I'm just being very honest with you, it's hard. Even for me, recently I've noticed there's an increase of inquiries from Google Ads because there's so much competition out there. Because even if somebody a coach tries Google Ads for a month, and you have many coaches trying it just for a month, there's lots of people out there advertising on Google, and people type in life coaching and see so many websites, and not many people will go and see 20 websites. Yeah, think about last time, I'm getting excited here. Think about last time you were looking for something and you went beyond page 1 of Google search. Because there's so much stuff on the first page, you look at it and you just choose the first few sites and then you make contact with them, with the people on those sites. So unless we are on the very top, which I'm not even on the very top all the time because there's so much competition out there, even though I spend more money than them on that, you compete with all of these people. Plus, if the whole room, 80 people, will start to get on Google Ads, think about this, so that's not ultimate solution. There's no secret, it's not like, oh, you did this one thing and you get these people, because when I think about the successful coaches that I know, each of them will have a different way of getting those clients. These prospects. So there's not like, oh, Google Ads is the way, networking is the way, writing books is the way, events is the way, but you have to choose something. And ideally a combination of few things. So I don't rely on Google Ads. This is just where the majority of my prospects come from. I get clients through events, I get clients through my book, I get clients through, I don't do much networking, but when I do, I can get some clients through that. Then referrals, and obviously if you have referrals, you need to have some people to begin with. But this is a massive topic, and I'm aware of the time as well, conscious of time. This is something I go into detail, I break it down one by one, the Google Ads, the events, the book, everything during my workshop. And then there's the selling. Because if I have this, on average 200 consultations a year, so what if I can't sell? I've just wasted 200 hours, or 300 if it's longer than an hour. If I can't present the value to the prospect. Oh, he was a nice guy, great. The coffee was great. I make great coffee, by the way. But so what? Great to meet you. Oh, thank you for the book. Great. No sale. And And like I said, it's not just about helping people. I can't help them unless they become my clients. And I know if they become my client, I change their lives. So it's my job. That's how I want you to think. It is your job as a coach to be able to sell your service. Because if you can't sell it, you can't help anyone. Apart from your mother-in-law or neighbor with some advice, quick advice. So it's our job. So that's how I saw it. I was like, it's my job. I need to become a good salesperson. And I was like most of you here, and they said, oh my God, selling is such a dirty thing. Selling, oh my God, salespeople, how come they call me and try to sell me shit over the phone? Always in the worst time, you know. But I had to learn because I said, this is, I understood, I knew this much about business, is that this is an absolute necessity. Like if I can't sell, it doesn't matter how good my product is. I always believed in my product, which is me, my coaching skills. But it doesn't matter. When I get a referral, somebody will say to the prospect, this is a great coach. You still need to sell yourself. I still need to sell it, even when I talk to referrals. Yes, it's easier, but I still need to sell it. So when I think about my sales process, what I do during this consultation, it went from not knowing what to do to like having a process. And again, it's like it will be very long to go through it. Something I cover during the workshop as well. This is a soft sell, by the way. Just in case you wonder, it's like we go into detail of that. It's a whole process, and I say, yeah, this is what I'm doing. It works for me. You might as well try it. I'm not hiding anything. This is what I'm doing. If it's going to work for you, I'm happy for you. If you want to take a copy from my website, that's fine. Fine. It's like I'm happy to share. So, but it's understanding that, these people have to come from somewhere. And then when they do come and you find yourself in front of them, not on the phone, not on Skype, I'm not saying you can't close the client over the phone or on Skype. I did that sometimes when they were away, not in London. But you maximize the chances of doing so when there's a physical contact, when there's an exchange of energy. You can impact these people much more. And initially you want to think, how can I get as many people as possible in front of me? Because that's how you're going to practice your selling skills. And at the same time, listen to Zig Ziglar, lecturing on selling. Listen to Brian Tracy, the expert in selling. I've listened to these tapes over and over again. Was I looking forward to it? Absolutely not. What I'm really interested in, and was in, initially anyway, was personal development, not selling techniques. I'm not getting excited about selling course or marketing course. That's not that. I've learned that, and I became a little bit more familiar with it, and therefore, I warmed up to this a little bit more. But initially, I was like, oh my God, you just gotta do it. Because there's no shortcut from becoming a great marketer and great salesperson. Rich Liefkin, for example, he sells by having 2-hour conversations with a prospect. And it's actually, he calls it the power of a conversation. It's a coaching session. That's his way of saying. He would listen to me speaking and he would say, no, Michael, that's not the way. You have to have high-paying clients, you have to coach them first, you have to blow their minds. I tried this approach. It didn't work for me. So I don't offer any free coaching to begin with. It's a consultation. But it's a very, very nicely designed consultation. It took me years to get to where I am right now. And again, even when I break it down, she had enough. It's not a problem. Don't quit coaching, darling. Though coaching is great. And even if you kind of take notes of what I'm saying, say, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you because what I do is congruent to who I am, my personality, blah blah blah. If you try to do it, it might not work, or it might work even better. So ultimately, you're going to have to develop your own style of marketing and selling. And the only way to do that is through practice, right? So how can I get these people in front of me? Some of the ways I've tried in the past, I failed completely. I fell flat on my face. I run events, nobody would show up sometimes. Okay, that didn't work. But this now I know. Many, many times. I failed so many times. I didn't close majority of my prospects. And think about it, 191 people last year. 30% of them became clients, so 70% rejected me. So what? It's a numbers game. You will never have, in any business, you will never close, it's rare to close more than 30% of the leads. So 30% is actually a good result in sales, in whatever you sell. Oh, but I have a great product, I can change lives. Who gives a shit? You know that they don't. Unless you can sell that as this idea, unless you can sell what you know to them, then you have no sale. 2 more minutes. Is there anything else that I want to say before we take questions? Yes. I'm going to take 2 minutes. I appreciate that I sounded a bit harsh sometimes. And maybe perhaps the language that I use sometimes is not for all of you. That's fine. Again, I wasn't trying to please all of you. I was here to serve. I'm here to serve you, not to please you. Oh, I don't like the word fuck. That's one of my favorite words. deal with it. But at the same time, I absolutely love this industry. And I want to make you my personal promise to you is that I'll personally make sure that we change the face of this industry in the UK. So you guys get ready, because I won't be able to deal with all these people that will call me to work to get a coach. You know? So somebody's got to do it. I thought it might as well be me, to get mainstream media and talk about life coaching. Not calling myself a transformation coach, not calling myself a man empowerment coach, which is all the fancy names for life coaches. I'm a life coach. I'm proud of being a life coach. But yeah, but life coach is about reputation. Somebody's got to change it. So if you want to be a life coach, be proud of it. Or if you're not proud of it, don't do it. Become an accountant. That's okay too. I love this industry. It's the best industry when you think about it. So just before I shut up and take some questions, think about the life. I want to describe the kind of life that I have right now. The life that you can have if you play your cards right, if you're persistent enough to work hard. Working Monday to Friday only, waking up at 10 o'clock every day, never starting working before 11:30, and working approximately 15 hours a week. That's 1-5. That's it. Never finish after 9 p.m. anymore. I used to work till like midnight, midnight, whatever my client wanted. It's a great life. I would say sometimes it's not enough to do. I'm like a bit bored, so I need to think, what can I do? But it's a great life, and you all can have this life. And probably many of you will be happy with less than 100K a year, 30K, 40K. I bet you on 30K doing what you love, think about it. As opposed to 30K working for somebody else and having a boss. So Nick, I'm just gonna talk about this. I have 2 offers for you. I think that the first one, the main one, is more relevant to you than the second one, only because the second one is, working with me one-to-one, and because I told you how much I charge, it's not going to be cheap. But maybe some of you are in a position to spend this amount of money, invest this much in yourself. If not, if you think, right, I could use a coach, maybe he's going to be too expensive for me right now, but still, if you'd like to meet me and have a consultation, by all means, put your name down there with Thomas. And we'll have a consultation, and if you can't afford working with me personally right now, you could have another consultation with one of my associates based on the conversation that we're going to have. I say, okay, this guy could help you with what you need help with for this much. So that's one offer. But the main thing is the workshop that I've mentioned, where we basically spend a whole day together in my place in Mayfair, small group, up to 6 people. And this whole day is about 3 things and 3 things only. Marketing, selling, and branding. Because the workshop is called How to Build a 6-Figure Coaching Business. And like I mentioned before, when we think about operating on that level, we have to think about the brand. Marketing and selling is not enough. You need to have a brand. Because people will buy and pay more if they like the brand. They won't if they don't like the brand. So they need to be a brand in the first place. So it's a very intensive workshop. Still, we keep it fun. Yes, I swear as well, so if you're sensitive to that, don't come. But we have fun. It's, I'm very laid back, believe it or not. and it's in my place. It's very kind of intimate. So it's the early bird price is $3.95, then it goes to $4.95. The next one is on the 7th of February, which is less than 2 weeks from now. So if you're interested, we're not taking any payments tonight. We don't do any special offers, only because you're here, you're animals. None of this marketing, like a typical marketing bullshit. I just don't buy into this whole idea. So if you're interested, talk to Thomas there, put your email address, and I will send you a link to it. You can read the description, you can see the video testimonials. You sign up for it, great. You don't sign up for it, that's okay. I'll be just as fine, And so that's the 7th of February. If you can't make that date, still put your name down. And then when we talk on email, it's going to be me emailing you, not my PA's PA or not someone from my sales team. I don't have a sales team, I'm the sales team. I will send you an email. If you can't make the 7th of February, I will ask you if you'd like me to tell you about the next date, which might be in February, might be in March, I haven't decided yet. So that's that. Thank you for listening, and I'll be delighted. I'll give you some more.